Welcome back, everyone, to our podcast Farm to Table. Today, I have a guest speaker, Crystal, with me, and on today's menu, we're serving rice. Crystal, it's so nice speaking with you today, and I can't wait to hear about your insights on this humble ingredient.
It's great being here. Rice is such a complex ingredient. I don't think people realize that this crop is multifaceted and deserves more recognition than a simple side dish to your meal. We have a stacked menu planned for today, giving rice a proper introduction, exploring its different food systems, highlighting its social issues, and analyzing further on what rice is presently and what is in its future.
I'm sure everyone listening in today has eaten rice before. I know for myself, I can't go a meal without it. But do we really know where rice began? Rice has been here for centuries, tracing back to 8000 BC. Even that long ago, it's still a crop that billions of people lean on in their everyday lives. It's a versatile ingredient that has a different use in different cultures. The earliest culinary role was seen in Western Asia, as it was crafted into a sweet porridge and used as medicine. From there, different cultures adopted their own version of rice.
It's so interesting how rice is extremely versatile. However, one downside is that they are water-reliant crops, making them sensitive to climate change. But did you know that rice has two very distinct varieties? Oryza sativa, or Asian rice, and Oryza glaberrina, African rice, both of which have a unique domestication history. Rice in Asian culture actually has a much deeper meaning as well. It has thematic meaning among varying Asian communities, representing its sociocultural identity, and highlights a deeply intertwined relationship with Asia's history with Western colonialism.
Rice's history is quite complicated. I feel that highlights the question further on why rice is important. Presently, rice feeds approximately 3.5 billion people globally, most of which are in Asia, Latin America, and parts of Africa. Its biggest producers include Indonesia, China, and India.
Exactly. In fact, in 2020, the annual production of rice was 509 million tons from 16 million hectares of rice area in over 100 countries.
Now, let's dive into the process of rice production and the challenges it faces due to climate change and other socioeconomic factors.
Absolutely. Rice production starts with field preparation and harvesting. But this stage of the food system is not without its challenges, especially in the face of climate change. Water scarcity and irrigation problems are major issues. Persistent changes in rainfall patterns and drought brought by climate change increase water scarcity, disrupting traditional rice farming practices and reducing rice production. Modern irrigation systems like System of Rice Intensification, or SRI, and drip irrigation are not affordable for small-scale farmers, leaving them at a disadvantage.
Temperature challenges also play a significant role. Increased temperatures affect rice growth cycles, leading to reduced yields or failed crops. The frequency of severe heat events in rice cultivating regions leads to unreliable yields and production, requiring innovative practices in agriculture biotechnology such as crop breeding and genetic alterations. Unfortunately, developing regions often lack these resources to adapt, leaving rural communities vulnerable to climate and environmental changes.
Next, after harvesting the crop, they then go through processing. This stage of the food system is responsible for transforming raw paddy rice into edible products through a series of crucial steps. After harvesting and separating the grains from the stalks, the rice is cleaned to eliminate any foreign materials. The hulling process then removes the outer husk, producing brown rice, which is then milled to eliminate the bran layer, resulting in white rice. Further polishing then gives the rice a shiny finish and is then graded and sorted by quality and size. After the processing of the paddy, the rice is then packaged and distributed to retailers and consumers.
Now let's discuss the marketing and retail stage. Rice packaging often uses plastics like HDPE, PP, LDPE, and PS, which can break down into microplastics. These microplastics contaminate the rice, posing health risks to consumers, while also contributing to global climate change. Consuming microplastics has been linked to health issues such as inflammatory bowel disease, cardiovascular disease, and liver toxicity. Also, did you know that over 50% of plastics are disposed of in landfills? It's crazy. This waste and use of microplastics has been found to interact with carbon and nitrogen cycles, increasing both CO2 and N2O emissions by over 50%. Through heat degradation of microplastics from the sun, emissions of methane are released into the atmosphere, raising Earth's temperatures. Governments and organizations should honestly educate the public on these risks and implement policies to limit the use of plastics in packaging.
Next, we have the policies influencing global food security and pricing dynamics. Policies play a crucial role in the rice system, affecting production, export, and marketing stability.
The 2007 to 2008 rice crisis, where rice prices tripled in just 6 months, and India's recent ban on rice exports led to a significant increase in international rice prices, highlighting the impact of policies on the rice system. Ensuring transparent and fair trade practices with global cooperation is essential for food security.
Now, let's talk about rice's cultural significance. In Asia, rice is not just food, but a symbol of strength, resilience, and hope. Despite its history of being a commodity of wealth during the Western colonialism, rice production became a testament to Asian resilience and tradition.
Exactly. It's so hard to separate rice from Asian cultural identities without recognizing the symbolism and ties the crop has towards many Asian communities. Considering their dynamic relationship, concerns of modernization of rice production challenges the cultural identity, as traditional practices are being diminished for the sake of mass production and monetary value. Other factors such as climate change further threatens this cultural relationship, as inconsistent weather conditions compromise both yield and quality, concerning the future of rice and perhaps leaving a hole in many Asians' cultural identity.
It's important to preserve these traditions while adapting to modern challenges. Using indigenous knowledge and environmental policies to mitigate climate change can boost sustainability and reinforce cultural identity.
Now that we've discussed the different food systems, it's time we talk about what could go wrong with rice. As we mentioned earlier, climate change is drastically affecting the way rice is grown and harvested. Water scarcity and rising temperatures does not only impact food availability, but also drives up the prices, making it harder for people to afford this staple food.
It's a vicious cycle. As these communities face reduced yields, they often can't afford the technologies or practices needed to adapt to climate change, leaving them more vulnerable. But the challenges don't stop at production. The processing of rice, particularly modern methods like parboiling, also has significant environmental and social implications.
Right. Parboiling is an energy-intensive process, consuming over 90% of the total energy required in a rice milling system. This high energy use contributes to greenhouse gas emissions and exacerbates climate change. Plus, the process produces toxic wastewater, which can harm aquatic life and pollute local water sources.
Let's not forget the human cost. Mill workers face numerous occupational hazards. Exposure to excessive noise can lead to hearing loss and sleep disturbances, while the dust and chemicals involved in milling can cause respiratory issues and other health problems. These workers often operate in poor conditions with inadequate protections, highlighting the social inequities in the rice milling industry.
Additionally, as mentioned earlier, the packaging that rice comes in has been found to leave a large amount of microplastics in rice, and consumption of microplastics have been correlated to inflammatory bowel disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and liver toxicity.
It's a stark reminder that the journey of rice from farm to table involves many different costs. To address these issues, we need holistic approaches that combine technological innovation with equitable policies. Connecting farmers with current research on climate resilience practices can help them make informed decisions.
And respecting indigenous knowledge systems is crucial. These communities have been farming rice for generations and have valuable insights into sustainable practices. We also need to push for stronger environmental regulations and support for better working conditions in rice mills.
Absolutely. By addressing both the environmental and social issues, we can work towards a more sustainable and equitable rice production system. It's about ensuring that everyone, from farmers to consumers, can benefit from this essential crop without compromising their health or the environment.
Well said. That's all the time we have for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we hope this discussion sheds light on the complexities behind rice production and processing. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to explore the intricate pathways our food takes from farm to table.